Hello and welcome to a tour at world's biggest cruise ferry, MS Color Magic. Color Magic is the sister ship of Fantasy and is considered more of a cruise ship rather than a simple ferry. And yes, that's pretty much true. Actually, the layout of the public elevators compares quite much to the Royal Caribbean, especially to the Freedom class cruise ships. Just because of their car decks, the shopping promenade doesn't have as many decks as the Royal Caribbean has. The ship has got both MiniSpace and MonoSpace elevators delivered by KONE. It originally was supposed to get 20 elevators, but after a change has been made, it just got 19 elevators. So she actually got one elevator less than her sister Color Fantasy. Some of the flight and rescue maps still have the additional elevator displayed. They actually built one big elevator instead of a set of two. The public elevator arrangement is quite repetitive. There are starboard and portside elevator arrangements located at front and also at aft. So there are actually 4 public elevator arrangements. Each arrangement features 2 amazing scenic MiniSpace elevators. Opposite the scenic elevators there is either a very big non-scenic MiniSpace elevator at starboard, or there are sets of 2 non-scenic MonoSpace elevators at portside. Furthermore, there are 4 service or crew-only elevators and a dumbwaiter. We start off with elevator 1, located at front and starboard. Elevator 1 goes the longest distance of all elevators on board. This elevator is locked off when the ship is at sea, because it is then mainly used for room service and other service purpose. You then need a code to call it. When at port, you can call this elevator, although they often switch it to priority around 12 AM to 1 PM to bring used linen to the laundry on deck 2. When at the port, deck 2 is locked off by code as it is a crew-only deck. On the sister ship Color Fantasy, this one is the only elevator with KONE M series fixtures. However, on Magic, there are just KSS fixtures, just like on all the other elevators. And now to elevators 2 and 3, which are the scenic elevators opposite. These are the only scenic elevators that go as far as deck 15, and they're probably the busiest of all public elevators on board. Just like elevator 1, they also have their motor being installed below the top floor. Elevator 2 and 3 run as a set, however, they run independently from elevator 1. In fact, the scenic and the non-scenic elevators always run independently from each other. This often causes people to call both sort of elevators but just use one.
Come inside. Thank you. I'm the driver.
And now to elevators 4 and 5. These are also situated at front, however this time at port side. These scenic elevators go from deck 6 to 13. Directly opposite the scenic elevators, there are the non-scenic elevators 6 and 7. These are MonoSpace, not MiniSpace, and they are the only elevators connecting the cabins on deck 5, at least while the ship is at sea. So, if you have your cabin on deck 5, your deck then isn't connected to the scenic elevators and you just rely on a set of 2. You can also use elevator 1 to go there as long as the ship isn't at sea. Elevators 6 and 7 go from deck 3 up to 13. And now, the next elevators are 8 and 9. These are crew or service elevators located at port side. They are beside each other, but unlike Silja Serenade or Symphony, which got a quite similar elevator layout, they run independently, not as a set. Elevator 8 reaches up to deck 12 and also opens its doors to public areas on decks 8 to 11. Elevator 9 just goes within the lower decks 2 to 7 and is therefore quite hidden. When at the port, you can actually call elevator 8 without code. The decks 8 to 12 are also unlocked in the elevator. However, decks 2 to 7 then need a code, so you cannot ride down to the crew area. This is not possible on Color Fantasy. She always has elevator 8 locked off, also at the port. And now to elevator 10, which is also a crew elevator and requires a code on all decks. This elevator surprisingly skips deck 4, I didn't expect that. It connects the tax-free shops on deck 6 to 7 to the storage. This elevator is hidden behind the scenes, you cannot see it from public space. Next elevator to go is elevator 11, the big aft starboard elevator. This is the major difference to the sister ship KONE Fantasy, because she has got two small elevators here, which are numbered 11 and 12. KONE Magic instead uses a big elevator. So from now on, the numbering is always one number below KONE Fantasy's numbering. Elevator 11 is also often used by the crew, although it is always accessible to the public, also at sea. Deck 5 is locked off. There are two separate buttons for Deck 5 for both sides. You can actually walk the stairs and call it on Deck 5, but pressing the door open button does not open the other door to the crew area. Opposite elevator 11 there are 12 and 13, another set of two scenic ones. Unlike the front elevators, the non-scenic elevators do not reach deck 13, so you have to use the scenic ones to go there.
Kenne ich ja noch gar nicht. Gibt's ja gar nicht. Ich würde sowas gerne am Samstag haben, aber nicht jetzt hier. Wollten wir noch ein bisschen rumwandern.
Now to the aft port side elevators, first to elevator 14 and 15, another set of two scenic elevators. The next elevators to go are 16 and 17. These are the non-scenic elevators opposite the elevators 14 and 15. They go from deck 3 to deck 12. There is one real elevator to go, elevator 18. This one is very well hidden at starboard and just travels between deck 2 and 4. This one requires a code on all decks as it is a crew elevator. You can actually see it on the lorry deck 3 but not call it. This elevator is also a MiniSpace. The last elevator is just a dumbwaiter. It is actually elevator 19. This one just goes between deck 6 and 7. It is situated at port side, however, not at the same spot like on the Silja line cruise ferries.